animal science, agricultural engineering, agricultural economics, and soil science. Forestry, and also agricultural education. So, which is used for brewing non-alcoholic drink? So, you need to observe the question, no? So, nakalagay dito, agad, which crops used for brewing non-alcoholic drink? Meaning, more than, uh, madaming crops, no? So, we have A, coffee, B, cacao, C, tea, D, all of the choices. So, may crops tayo nakalagay dyan. So, meaning possible all of the choices yung ating sagot. So, so the answer is all of the choices. Madalas pagka natin. Next, plantation crop used as chocolate beverage, candies, flavoring, or pastries and ice cream is called A. Cacao, B. Coffee, C. Tea, D. Vanilla. All of these can be used for flavoring, no, for pastries and ice cream. But there's a word, chocolate, no, nakikita natin may chocolate beverage. So the answer for this is cacao. So we can only produce chocolate using the cacao seeds. Next, the most important cereals grown in the Philippines are A. Rice and wheat, B. Corn and wheat, C. Rice and corn, D. Rice and milk. So, the most important cereals grown in the Philippines are, so the answer is rice and corn. Rice is the staple food for the majority of our population. Then corn is also an important cereal crop used for both human consumption and animal feed. Since we don't usually grow wheat here and millet. Then crops for industrial processing includes the following economic species, except one. So, except, pili lang po tayo dyan kung alin. So, A, sugarcane, B, tobacco, C, castor bean, or D, soybean. So, crops for industrial processing includes the following, except the following economic species, except, so, tignan po natin. So, sugarcane, we use this for industrial processing. So, sugar, tobacco then the castor bean or castor oil. So, the answer is soybean. Next, the commercial fiber crops in the Philippines are, except A, pineapple, B, jute, C, abaca, and D, mung bean or munggo. So, which is the commercial fiber crops in the Philippines are, except, yeah. So the answer is, kitang-kita naman natin, munggo ay hindi. Hindi siya isang fiber crops. Munggo ay isang leguminous. So the abaca is also known as Manila hemp. It's a type of banana plant. Ito po ay isang type ng banana plant. It's grown for its strong and durable fiber. Abaca fibers are used to make various products such as ropes, bags, furnitures, and paper. The Philippines is one of the top producers of abaca in the world. Next is we also have yung mga common natin, no? Common commercial fibers crops in the Philippines. We also have cotton. Cotton is a fiber crop that's grown in the Philippines for its soft and breathable fibers, which is used in textile production. However, cotton production in the Philippines is relatively small compared to other crops. Another commercial fiber crops in the Philippines is the pineapple. Pineapple leaves contain strong fibers that are used in textile production. In the Philippines, the fiber are extracted from pineapple leaves and used to make a type of cloth called pinya, which is used for traditional clothing and other products. Yung ating mga barong, yung po gawa, yung mga Pilipinyana. No? So, yung jute is a fiber crop that is grown also in the Philippines, particularly in the Visayas region. So it is a strong and durable fiber. Jute fibers are used in various industries such as textiles, papers, and packaging. So next is dominant crops from Ilocos region down to La Union and Pangasinan. So makita natin may nakalagay dominant crops. So isa lang naman dito yung when you observe the question, kita natin isa lang dito sa pamimilian. A. Peanut, B. Pineapple, C. Mango, D. Tobacco and garlic. Isa lang dito yung dalawa. So the answer for this is tobacco and garlic. The dominant crop in Davao region. A. Pineapple, B. Banana, C. Corn, D. Rice. May nakapunta na po ba ng Davao or may tiga Davao ba sa ating mga participants? Natin, sa mga students natin, may mga tiga Davao ba dito? Ay, may kasagot.
Opo.
At sagot nila ay letter D, may letter A, may letter D, C, parang wala akong nakitang tamang sagot. Ayan. So the answer is banana. So banana po ang dominant crop sa Davao. So Davao is one of the top producer of Cavendish banana. Ito po yung specific na variety ng banana na ginogrow natin in the sa Davao region. So Cavendish banana in the Philippines. Bananas are grown in large plantation and are exported to various countries such as Japan, China, and Korea. Yung Cavendish po yung ating pinang-export. So nandun din po sa Davao yung Dole, Philippines. Coconut, another dominant crop na meron po sa Davao is yung coconut. Coconut is another major crop in Davao. Coconut trees are grown for their fruit, which is used to produce various products such as oil, milk, and vinegar. Then another dominant crop in Davao, pag sinabing Davao, ito din yung naririnig natin, durian. Yan. Durian is a popular fruit in Davao and is known for its distinctive odor and flavor. Durian is grown in orchard and is sold locally and exported to other countries. Yan, masyadong maamoy ang ating durian. Next question. Cabbage, cauliflower, and broccoli are, ano ba to? A. Leafy vegetables. B. Sunsays vegetables. C. Whole crops or crispers. Or D. cucurbits. So ano po ba ang cabbage, cauliflower, and broccoli? Ano ko nga? Anong sagot nila? Leafy vegetable, C, A, or B. But may dalawang sagot? D, C. Sige, naku, madaming... So, cabbage, cauliflower, and broccoli are cole crops or crucifers. So, ito po yung ating para malinaw sa lahat. So leafy vegetables, non-seed vegetables, called crops or crucifers, and cucurbits are four common classification of vegetable crops based on their characteristics and growing habits. So leafy vegetables, these are vegetables that are grown for their leaves, such as lettuce, spinach, and kale. They are often rich in vitamins, minerals, commonly used in salads or as garnish. So Solanaceous vegetables, these are vegetables that belong to the Solanaceae family, such as tomato, eggplant, and pepper. They are characterized by their fleshy fruit and are commonly used in cooking. So the co-crops or crucifers, these are vegetables that belong to the Brassica family, such as broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage. They are characterized by their flowering buds, which are harvested for consumption. And last is cucurbits. These are vegetables that belong to the cucurbitaceae family, such as cucumbers, squash, melons. They are characterized by their fleshy fruits and, and are commonly used in cooking and salads. Then, so yan, malinaw na po. So, yung iba sinagot letter A, leafy vegetables kasi yun yan, no, dahon din naman yung ginagamit nila doon, no? But when it comes to the classification of vegetables, the broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage fall under the Brassicaceae family or on the co-crops or crucifers. So next, coffee, coconut, and abaca are A. Ornamentals, B. Fruits, C. Plantation crops, D. Agronomic crops. So, coffee, coconut, and abaca. Ganyan natin. Ang sagot natin dito. C, C, C. Wow, may tama sila. Okay, the answer is plantation crops. Next, vegetable crops includes the following, except lettuce, B, tamarind, C, eggplant, D, tomato. Alin kaya dito? Alam nila ang okay, tamarind. Yes po, tama ang inyong mga sagot. Next, all are legume seed crops except one, maliban sa isa. Sige nga, yun kulit. Sorghum seed crop except one. Sagot na ba? Okay, the answer is sorghum. Next, craft that have become dominant in the province of Negros, Tarlac, Pampanga, and Batangas. Ano po kaya ito? Craft that have become dominant in the province of Negros, Tarlac, Pampanga, and Batangas. So A, mango, B, peanut, C, sugarcane, or D, pineapple. Okay, the answer is sugarcane. So lahat po, especially sa Negros, madami talaga yung sugarcane. So dun yung most of our sugar nanggagaling doon sa Negros Island. Then we also have sugarcane sa Tarlac, Pampanga, and Batangas. Next, so the type of agriculture crops and its classification, we have these are the types of agricultural crops. So we have cereal crops, fruit crops, vegetable crops. So cereal crops, these crops are mainly used for food and feed production. Example dito, rice, corn, wheat, oats, and barley. So fruit crops, these crops are grown for their edible fruits, which are consumed fresh or processed into various products. Example, We have mango, banana, pineapple, avocado, durian, and citrus fruits. For the vegetable crops, these are crops are grown for their edible leaves, stem, roots, and tubers. Sample dito yung mga salad, okra, onion, garlic, carrot, lettuce, pechay, sweet potato. So, veg- for the vegetable crops, nakaka-classify pa to, no? For leafy vegetables, sunseus, cucur beets, cole crops, and crucifer. We have root crops and fruit vegetable crops. Another classification of the another types and classification of agricultural crops. We also have three crops. These crops are grown for their fruits, nuts, timber, and other products. Example, include dito yung coconut, cacao, coffee, rubber, and cashew. For the roots and tuber crops, these crops are grown for their edible roots and tubers which are used for food and feed production. Example dito, cassava, yam, taro, and ginger. Then we also have legume crops. These crops are grown for their edible seeds or pods, which are high in protein and used for food and feed production. Example, we have peanuts, soybean, mung bean, and kidney bean. Yung kidney bean, red bean. We also call this as red bean. Another type of agricultural crops and its classification of spice and condiment crops. These crops are grown for their aromatic leaves, seeds, and fruits, which are used for seasoning and flavoring food. Example dito, pepper, cinnamon, ginger, turmeric. Industrial crops. These crops are grown for their industrial uses, such as biofuel, textile, and construction materials. For example, we have sugarcane, jute, cotton, and abaca. Another type of agricultural crop is we have the medicinal and aromatic crops. These crops are grown for their medicinal and aromatic properties, which are used for health and wellness purposes. Example, we have aloe vera, lemongrass, mint, and lavender. So these are the types of commercial crops in the Philippines. We have the rice, corn, and coconut. So rice is the staple food in the Philippines. It's the most important commercial food crop. It's grown in the both upland and lowland areas. The Philippines is one of the top producers before. Then corn is another major commercial food crop in the Philippines, and it's used for both human consumption and animal feed. Corn is grown in both upland and lowland areas. Philippines is one of the top corn producers in the region. The next is we have the coconut. Coconut is a crop that's widely grown in Philippines. It's used also for food, fuel, oil, and other products. Philippines is one of the world's largest coconut producer. Another commercial crops in the Philippines is we have the sugar cane. Sugar cane is grown in the Philippines for its sugar content, which is used to produce various sweeteners and other products. Philippines is one of the major sugar producers in the world. Banana. Banana are a popular fruit in the Philippines and are grown in various parts of the country. The Philippines is one of the top producers also of banana in the world. Next is we also have pineapple. Pineapple is another fruit crop grown in the Philippines, which is known for its sweetness and juiciness. Mango also is a popular fruit crop in the Philippines, which is known for its sweet and tangy flavor. Coffee is grown in the Philippines, particularly in the upland areas. It is a major commercial food crop. Philippines is one of the top coffee producers in Asia. The Filipino coffee lover. No? Also, we also have the cacao. Cacao is grown in the Philippines for its cacao beans, which are used to produce chocolate and other products. Cacao is one of the top producers of in Asia. Next, let's go back to the question. So the portion of the soil, let's focus on the soil naman po. The portion of the soil that includes animal and plant remain at various stages of decay. A. Soil water. B. Soil mineral. C. Soil organic matter. Or D. Soil pore. Ang masagot. C, 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 C. Whoa. Okay. The correct answer is C. Soil organic water. Soil water, soil mineral, and soil organic matter, and also soil pore are all important components of soil that contribute to plant growth and overall soil health. Soil water refers to the amount of water held in the soil, which is critical for plant growth and development. The availability of soil water affects seed germination, nutrient uptake, and photosynthesis. Soil minerals refers to the inorganic component of soil, such as sand, silt, and clay. These minerals contribute to the soil structure and affect water holding capacity, nutrient availability, and also the plant growth. The soil organic matter refer to the decomposing plants and animal material in the soil. Soil pore refers to the spaces between the soil particles which allow air and water to move through the soil. Soil pore space is important for root growth, soil aeration, and water infiltration. So soil, next question is soil is a medium for plant growth because plant depends on soil to supply pore needs except A. Encourage, B. Carbon dioxide, C. Nutrient and water, D. Oxygen. Soil is a medium for plant growth because the plant depends on soil to supply for needs such as, gitingnan natin, encourage yung ibang sagot. May nagsagot ng A, may nagsagot ng D. The correct answer is oxygen. So, yeah, so the soil is a medium for plant growth because they depend on as anchorage and also source of pagkukuha na nila ng carbon dioxide, nutrient, and also in water. So for the oxygen, sila yung nag-produce, the plants produce the oxygen. No? Next, nutrients plants get from air and water are except one. A. Hydrogen. B. Carbon. C. Oxygen. D. Nitrogen. Nutrients plants get from air and water are except one. Isa po dito ang hindi nakukuha ng plants sa air and water. So, tignan natin ang sagot, yung mga sagot ng ating mga students. Oh, alam nila ha. Yes. The answer is nitrogen. Plant absorb nitrogen primarily from the form of nitrate or ammonium through their roots from the soil. Nitrogen is essential nutrient for plant growth and is a key component of chlorophyll which is necessary for photosynthesis. The process by which plant absorb nitrogen can be broken down into several steps. Meron tayong nitrogen fixation, meron mineralization, nitrification, plant uptake, and nitrogen recycling. So plant obtain nutrients or absorb nutrients from the air and water through the process of photosynthesis and from the soil through the roots. In terms of air, plants absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere during photosynthesis, which is used to produce carbohydrates and other organic compounds. Then the oxygen is also released as byproduct of photosynthesis. So next, what nutrients are usually lacking from the soil because plants consume them in big quantities? A. Beta nutrients. D. Micronutrients. B. Macronutrients. C. Micronutrients. D. Giganutrients. Meron bang beta and giganutrients? Natin sagot nila. Big uh, nutrients are usually lacking from the soil because plants consume them in big quantities. The answer is macronutrients. Ano na ba yung mga macronutrients? Later, meron tayo dyan. I-present natin yung mga uh, macronutrients, mga nutrients na kailangan ng halaman, major na kailangan ng halaman. So next, some crops are planted to be turned into soil rather than for harvest. This practice is called A. Compost making, B. Humus making, C. Green manuring, or D. Cover crop. Some crops are planted to be turned into the soil rather than for harvest. This practice is called, natin mga sagot. Opo. So the answer is green manuring po. Green manuring ang tawag po doon sa mga crops na ginagamit natin na maging pataba. We plant them para maging pataba. Usually yan yung mga leguminous crops na for nitrogen fixation dun sa kanilang mga root nodule. So, cover crops are typically planted during periods when the soil would otherwise be left bare, such as between main crops or during fallow periods. The plants are grown primarily to protect and improve the soil rather than for harvest. Cover crops help to prevent soil erosion, improve soil structure, suppress weeds, and cycle nutrients. Next, the primary macronutrients, sometimes called fertilizer elements, are not usually available in large amounts for best growth. Most like they are added to the soil by fertilization. The primary macronutrients are the following except, madali na to. A. Phosphorus, B. Calcium, C. Potassium, D. Nitrogen. Sagot. Paintindi ng tanong, the three primary macronutrients are as follows except, may nag-raise ba ng hand? Okay. Except po, no? Except three primary macronutrients. Primary macronutrients po natin is yung NPK. Except, no? Except po yung nakalagay dito, except. So, NPK, we have the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Okay, the answer po dito ay letter C, calcium. NPK po ang kailangan, major na kailangan ng halaman. But there are also other nutrients for them to grow. So ito po, no? The primary macronutrients are the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, often referred to as NPK. Yung nag-raise ng hand? Tama ba? Pwede ba tayo mag-entertain ng mga raise ng hand?
Okay, where's Mr. Tatay? Okay, can you just chat na lang? Sir, just one question. Baka meron siyang gusto talagang malaman.
Sige po. Napindot
Ah,
lang daw. Okay.
oo naman kasi. Sige, sir. Thank you.
Thank you po. So, ayun po, no? So, yun sa question kanina, parang di nakuha nung iba, except yung nakalagay doon, no? So, the macronutrients are are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, often referred to as NP. These are nutrients. These nutrients are essential for plant growth and development and are typically supplied to plants through fertilizer or organic matter. Other macronutrients include calcium, magnesium, and sulfur, which are also essential for plant growth and development. Yung nakalagay kasi din doon yung major na kailangan, no? Even calcium is included, pero yung tatlo na three primary macronutrients is the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Balikan natin yung tanong. Ayan. So the primary macronutrients, sometimes called fertilizer elements, are not usually available in large amount for best growth. Most likely they are added to the soil by fertilization. The three primary macronutrients, yung primary natin yung NPK, except even though calcium is uh, part of the macronutrients, pero yung primary natin sa macronutrients is the NPK. So micronutrients are also known as trace elements or trace minerals, or micronutrients are nutrients that plants need in much smaller quantities. These nutrients are no less important than macronutrients. However, as they play key roles in the many plants processes. Some common macronutrients include iron, zinc, copper, manganese, boron, and molybdenum. These nutrients are often supplied to plants through fertilizer or soil amendments, and deficiencies can be corrected through the application of the micronutrient fertilizer. So complete fertilizer contain how many nutrients? We have the, tingnan ko yung sagot natin dito. A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, D, 4. Okay, tama sila. The answer is C, 3. We have the NPK or the 14-14-14 na tawag na complete fertilizer. Next, the first commercial nitrogen fertilizer was actually organic, urea, B, guano, C, cattle manure, D, kakaiba sila ng sagot. Nagbe-base po ako doon sa chat, no? Kung na nakita kong sagot sa chat. So, iba-iba ang ating mga sagot na nakita ko sa chat box natin. So, the answer is guano. So, saan ba galing yung guano? Ito ay isa sa pinakamagandang source ng uh, nitrogen fertilizer. Galing sa bat, dumi ng mga paniki. Next, this fertilizer is considered a slow-release fertilizer because they do not act quickly, contain slow amount of nutrients, and nutrients is released slowly over the growing season. A, organic fertilizer. B, inorganic fertilizer. C, mineral fertilizer. D, chemical fertilizer. Magkakaiba din ng sagot ah. The fertilizer is considered a slow release fertilizer because they do not act quickly, contain slow amount of nutrients, and nutrients are released slowly over the growing season. The answer is organic fertilizer. Pagka gusto natin ng quick result, ma-absorb agad ng halaman, we use inorganic fertilizer or mga chemical fertilizer. Pero kung organic, slow release yan sa sa halaman, absorb ng ating halaman. Slow release yung nutrients. Next, a plant nutrient stimulates the growth of the plant tissue, particularly on the of the leaves, making them large and dark green in abundance. A. Phosphorus, B. Potassium, C. Nitrogen, D. Calcium. A. Phosphorus, B. Potassium, C. Nitrogen, D. Calcium. The correct answer is nitrogen. So, nitrogen po ang kailangan ng halaman para maging maganda yung kanilang dahon. Later, meron naman tayong dyan on the nutrients. So, this element is exceeding important to plants for two reasons. One, its presence in the soil, neutralize acids and increase the number and vigor of the nitrogen fixing bacteria, and two, essential to the carbohydrate and protein metabolism of the plant. What is this mineral? This element is exceedingly important to plant for two reasons. Its presence in the soil neutralizes acid and increased numbers and vigor of the nitrogen fixing bacteria. And two, essential to the carbohydrate and protein metabolism of the plant. What is this mineral? The answer is, chinek yung answer ng mga students natin. Iba-iba din ang kanilang answer. The answer is calcium. So, okay, balikan natin. Wala. So, these are the macro and micronutrients. Both are essential. So, macronutrients required in large quantities and the micronutrients required in small quantities. So, yung primary macronutrients natin, again, is the NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Then, the other macronutrients na kailangan pa rin ng secondary macronutrients natin, no, is the sulfur, calcium, and the magnesium. Then the micronutrients, we have the chlorine, boron, magnesium, nickel, iron, copper, zinc, and molybdenum. So yan po yung mga kailangan ng halaman para sa kanyang plant growth and development and para makapag-produce siya ng kanyang fruit or vegetable. The most important animals in the soil, they are egg-laying hermaphrodites that eat detritus, soil and organic matter, and microorganisms. A. Termites, B. Earthworms, C. Ants, D. Cricket. Nga po. Yun. Okay, the right answer is earthworms. Earthworms, ito po ang kaibigan ng ating mga magsasaka, kanilang farm. Which among the statement is not true to organic fertilizer? A. Promote growth of earthworm. B. Reduce moisture, soil aeration. C. Contain a very large nutrient. D. Increase water holding capacity. Which statement is not true to organic fertilizer? Is tama po. Tama yung students. Since yung contain a very large amount of nutrients, ito po ay yung ating mga chemical fertilizers. Since organic fertilizer, release nga po yung ating nutrients, no? So, uti-uti siyang na-absorb ng ating halaman. Next, plant gets nutrients through air, water, soil, fertilizer, or D, all of the above. Sagot natin dito. Yun. Madalas pagka may all of the above, yun yung sagot eh. Pero babasahin pa rin natin yung tanong. No? Hindi porket nakakita tayo ng all of the above, yun agad yung ating shashidan. Madalas lang, pero kailangan pa rin natin i-check yung question and the choices. Okay. Next. Soil is the biologically active and porous medium that was developed in the uppermost layer of Earth's crust. It serves as the reservoir of water and nutrients and a medium for the filtration and breakdown of injurious soil. It also have industrial elements to contribute to ecosystem. 5 factors of soil formation. First is the parent material, topography, climate, organism, and time. Ito po yung ating 5 factors for the soil formation. So, which type of soil has approximately 20 to 40% sand, 18 to 25% silt, and 27 to 40% clay? A, we have clay loam soil. B, silt loam soil. C, sandy loam soil. D, sandy soil. Dati nung ako dito, hinuhulaan ko to eh. Pero ngayon, nakuha ko na to kung paano. So, which type of soil? Kasi may nung board exam ko sa Agri, may mga question din na ganito. So, which type of soil has approximately 20 to 40% sand, 18 to 25% silt, and 27 to 30% clay? A, clay loam soil. B, silt loam soil. D, sandy loam soil. Or D, sandy soil. Paano ba natin ito makukuha? Ang sagot, ang tamang sagot. So, meron tayong ganitong tinatawag natin. Soil triangle to, no? So, we have the percent clay and the percent silt and percent sand. So, makikita natin kanina, we have 20 to 40% sand, 18 to 25% silt, and 27 to 40 clay. Tignan natin nga kung nasa yun sila. So, yan. Makikita natin 20 to 40% sand. Sa baba po, makikita natin. Then we also have 18 to 25% silt. Nagulo kasi yung arrow ko dito nung nilipat ko yung Google Drive. Kaya medyo arrow natin. No? But you can tingnan nyo na lang yung line. Then we have the 27% clay. So nakita natin saan sila nagtama lahat. Loam soil. Yan. So ganyan po yung pag-ano natin yan. Next, we have which type of soil has 23 to 25% 50% sand, and 5 to 27% clay. It is smooth, gritty, but requires careful handling and can be handled purely without breaking when moist. A. Sandy soil. B. Loam soil. C. Sandy loam soil. Or D. Clay soil. Ulit natin sa ating triangle. Kita natin itong percent sand natin. No? We have the percent sand of 23 to 50%. Then we also have clay from 5% to 27%. So saan sila nag-meet? We have the loam soil. So the answer is loam soil. Next, an organic fertilizer that makes use of microbial inoculant to hasten the decomposition of animal manure mixed with other solid ingredients. Again, an organic fertilizer that makes use of microbial inoculant to hasten the decomposition of animal manure mixed with other soil ingredient. So we have A. Bokashi, D. Berminti, C. Fermented plant juice, D. Fermented fruit juice. Check ko yung mga sagot natin. Yay! So Bokashi. Bokashi comes from wait. Bokashi comes from Japanese. So in Bokashi composting, a mixture of food waste and a Bokashi mix is placed in a airtight container where the microorganisms begin to break down the organic matter resulting materials in a nutrient-rich compost that can be used to fertilize plants. Bokashi composting is known for being a quick and efficient way to process food waste and can be done indoors, making it a popular composting method for urban dwellers or those with limited outdoor space. So meron po tayo ditong ginagamit inoculant. Well, it's a mixture yung Bokashi mix natin meron tong mga darak. Yun yung isa sa major po natin when in Bokashi place we cover ito yung pinakamadaling gamitin nga when it comes to composting lalo na sa mga limited spaces or in the urban areas. So next, method of composting which makes use of earthworm. Ano pong tawag dito? A. Vermicompost. C. Vermity. B. Vermity. C. Vermiculture. Or D. Vermicast. Ano pong tawag dito? Method of composting which makes use of earthworm. So the answer is iba din ang answer nila. Vermiculture. Ano po ba yung vermicompost? Vermicompost is the end product of vermicomposting process which is produced by breakdown of organic matter through the digestive system of earthworms. Yung isa, yung vermicast. Vermicast naman po, ito yung excrement or casting produced by earthworm. Ito yung dumi na. Ano po? During the vermicompost process, is highly concentrated organic matter that is rich in nutrients, include nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, salt, beneficial microorganism. So, vermicompost, ito yung dumi and product. Yung vermicast, ito din, din to, nakasama na din dito, yung egg din ng ating ng ating earthworm. And the vermity naman, ito yung juice na yung vermicompost na nilagay natin sa aerator, and we also add um, sugar or molasses para maging pandilig natin to sa ating mga halaman. We call it Burmese tea. So kailangan natin dito ng aerator na tawag dito, aerator, pabubula-bulayin natin yung ating vermicompost and the with water and molasses. Then yun na, pwede na natin siya magamit na pandilig sa ating halaman, which is rich nga siya sa mga primary nutrients, primary macronutrients na kailangan ng ating halaman. So, vermicompost is the end product of vermicomposting process, while the vermicast is the excrement produced by earthworm during the process. Both are valuable organic fertilizer and soil amendments. Next, the worm used in vermicomposting. Ano po ba yung worm na ginagamit natin for vermicomposting? A. Tapeworm. B. African nightcrawler. C. Earthworm. D. Wiggly worm. Ano natin yung sagot nila? Meron tayong earthworm. Earthworm ang sagot nila. The worm used in vermicomposting. The correct answer po is the African night roller. We can also use earthworm, pero yung specific na worm natin na ginagamit for vermicomposting is the African night roller. Ito po yung active, mas active siya tuwing gabi. Kaya ang ginagawa, kinukuberan natin yung vermicomposting area para maging active yung ating mga worms. So, yung tapeworm, ito naman yung tapeworm, ito yung parasite na naglilim inside the intestine of animal, and also this is not suitable for composting. Then wiggly worm, this is other term or most common term for earthworm. Ano po? So yung main natin na ginagamit ng worm for vermicomposting is the Africanite crawler. So next is refers to the practice of growing plants of all types and varieties in the city. Apartment, hometowns, and other areas with little to no land are being successfully used for gardening. We call this as uh, urban agriculture. For urban agriculture, we have the access to fresh and healthy food. We improve the the air quality, increase the biodiversity, community buildings, education and awareness, and also we have the environmental benefits when we do our urban gardening. So ito po yung ating importance of urban gardening. No? Yung nabanggit ko kanina, we have the access to fresh air and healthy food. We improve the air quality. We increase the biodiversity. For increased biodiversity, urban gardens can provide habitats for insects, birds, and other wildlife, which can help to increase biodiversity in the cities. For community building, we have urban gardens can bring people together, promote social interaction, and build a sense of community. Then we also have education and awareness. Urban gardening can help to educate people about where their food comes from, how to grow it, and the importance of sustainable agriculture. Then the environmental benefits. Urban gardening can reduce the carbon footprint associated with food transportation and packaging, can also reduce the amount of organic waste sent to landfills where it contributes to the green gas emission. So yan po yung mga importance ng ating urban gardening. Next question. A liquid fertilizer that is made by fish scrap, A. Fermented plant juice, B. Organism, C. Fish amino acid. Okay, tama po. Seed. Next, a liquid fertilizer that's made by fermenting fruit. Fruit is typically immersed in warm water and then left to ferment for several days. A. Fermented fruit juice. B. Bokashi. C. Lactic acid bacteria serum. Or D. Fermented plant juice. So may ano na dito, may clue. So, fermented fruit juice. Ano po ba itong mga to? So, all dyan ay organic fertilizer that can be used to improve plant growth and health. So, yung fermented plant juice is yung FPJ na tinatawag natin is a liquid fertilizer that is made by fermenting plants materials such as young shoots, leaves, and waste and water. The fermentation process breaks down the plant materials and release nutrients and beneficial microorganism which can be used to fertilize plants. So yung fermented potassium, which is important for plant growth and flowering. Then we also have the ferment, similar to FPJ yung paggagawa niya, pero ginagamit lang natin dito ay fruit. So the fruit is typically chopped up and mixed with sugar and water and then left to ferment for several days. So yung fermentation process breaks down the plant materials and release nutrients and growing pa lang ng ating plant which we use the fermented plant juice. Pero yung pagka magpa-flowering niya or fruiting, we use the fermented fruit juice. So yung pagka ako gumagawa ako ng FPJ and FFJ, hindi ako naglalagay ng water. Then ang ratio ko dito 1:1 pag ako gumagawa. Then the fish amino acid is FFA is a liquid fertilizer that is made by fermenting fish scraps as the heads and bones, and we also add the solution in water and sugar. Fermentation breakdowns the fish scraps and release amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein. FFA is high in nitrogen, which is important for plant growth and leaf development. Then we also have the indigenous microorganisms. So our IMO, this is a type of organic fertilizer that is made by fermenting a mixture of plant materials such as bran and molasses with beneficial microorganisms such as bacteria and fungi. The fermentation process produces nutrient-rich liquid that can be used to fertilize plants and improve soil health. IMO particularly effective for root growth and improving soil structure. For improving the soil structure and root growth, we use the indigenous microorganism. So yung pag gumawa po tayo nito, pagka maasim-asim na manamis-namis dapat yung amoy ng ating product, no, and product para hindi sira yung ating gawa. Then kung magkano dapat puti. Kung may other color na abang sira po yung ating ginawa, mga solution, liquid fertilizer. Next, which weed control method is done by pulling or weeding, ploughing, and tillage? A. Biological method. B. Chemical method. C. Cultural method. Or D. Physical method. Ano po bang method yung ginagamit natin? Done by pulling or weeding, howing, and tillage. So, use the physical method. Then next, which method of control uses crop rotation, relay cropping, cover cropping, and green manuring? So ano pong sagot natin dito? Which method of control use crop rotation, relay cropping, cover cropping, and green manuring? A. Biological method. B. Chemical method. C. Cultural method. D. Physical method. The answer is yes po, cultural method ang ating ginagamit po. Okay. Next, which organic insecticide is made by fermenting a mixture of herbs and plants that are known for their medicinal properties, such as garlic, ginger, and turmeric in a solution of brown sugar and water? Ano po yung ginagamit natin? Hot pepper base, malunggay base, garlic base, or D. Oriental herbal nutrient, or tinatawag natin na OHN. Okay. We use the OHN, or Oriental Herbal Nutrients. Next, which agricultural product is a natural all-purpose insecticide? A. Garlic. B. Hot pepper. C. Onion. D. Ginger. Which agricultural product is a natural all-purpose insecticide? Sagot po natin. A. Garlic. B. Hot pepper. C. Onion. D. Ginger. The answer is hot pepper. Next, which organic farming culture practice break the cycle of insect and diseases? Which farming culture practices break the life cycle of insect and diseases? A. Relay cropping. B. Intercropping. C. Crop rotation. Or D. Cover cropping. Ano pong sagot natin? A. Relay cropping. B. Intercropping. C. Crop rotation. Or D. Cover cropping. Okay, the correct answer is crop rotation po ang correct answer. Relay cropping, ito yung pag-aabot yung ating main crop and the ating tinatawag dito, yung tinatawag natin cash crop. Then intercrop, meron po tayong magkasabay na tinatanim, may naka-intercrop po sa ating halaman. May other crop, may main crop tayo and may kasabay na siya na other crop din. Then crop rotation, ito po yung pagpapalit-palit natin ng tanim, no? So to break the cycle of the insect and also the disease, so we do crop rotation and also mapahinga din yung ating soil. No? So we plant different uh, crop. Kung nagtanim tayo ng leafy vegetables, we can crop the next cycle yung ating mga fruit vegetables, then leguminous crops. So papalit-palit po tayo dyan. No? Catching or controlling pests using decoy is what do you call this? A. Catching by hand. B. Providing natural enemies. C. Catching by traps. D. Applying chemicals. Sagot po natin dito. Okay. Yes po, tama. Catching by traps. Next, which of these are carried by animal or mounted on machinery to make work easier? Which of these animals are mounted on machinery to make work easier? A. Cranes. B. Farm machineries. C. Farm or D. Farm equipment. Ano pong tawag natin dito? Okay. The answer is farm implements. Tama po. So next, which farm implement is either pulled by or working animal or by a tractor? It is used for tilling large areas, making furrows, and interrows. Ano pong sagot natin to? Which farm implement? Wow! Sige po. So the correct answer is makikita natin dyan, alin lang ba dyan yung farm implements. Then, doon natin, pwede natin mabawasan yung mga pamimilian natin. Next, which farm implement is either pulled by a working animal or mounted to a tractor? It is used for tilling and pulverizing the soil. Used for pulverizing the soil. Natin dito. O, tama ating sagot. Next, which farm implement parang bumalik. Which farm implement is attached to a tractor and used for tilling and pulverizing the soil? Ano pong tawag dito? Farm implement attached to a tractor and is used for tilling and pulverizing the soil. Okay, yes, rotavitor. Next, it is used for digging canals and breaking hard topsoil and for digging up stones and tree stumps. Ano pong tagot natin dito? It is used for digging canals, breaking hard topsoil, and for digging up stones and tree stumps. A. Spade. B. Rake. C. Pikmatok. D. Hoe. The answer po for use in digging canals is the Pikmatok. Hopefully, alam niyo po yung itsura ng mga uh, tools po, no? Farm tools. Next, a handheld agricultural tool with a variously curved blade typically used for cutting weeds. A. Axe. B. Sickle. C. Bolo. D. Light hoe. Handheld agricultural tool with a variously curved blade typically used for cutting weeds. A. Axe. B. Sickle. C. Bolo. D. Light hoe. The correct answer is sickle. Next, what tool is used for loosening the soil around the growing plants and putting small amount of manure fertilizer in the soil? What tool is used for loosening the soil around the growing plants and putting small amount of manure fertilizer in the soil? We have A. Hand fork, B. Shovel, C. Hand trowel, or D. Hand cultivator. The correct answer is ito po, what tool is used for loosening the soil around the growing plant and putting small amount of manure fertilizer in the soil? Small amount of manure in the soil. Ito po ay hand trowel yung sagot. Next, you will prepare blank if your task is to till large areas, make furrows, and do inter-rows cultivation in the absence of tractor and these machines. Ano po yung ginagamit natin dito? A. Rotavator. B. Native plow. C. Thresher. D. This harrow. You will prepare blank if your task is to till large areas, make do furrow or do inter-row cultivation in the absence of tractor and these machines. So, wala po yung mga yan, no? So, ano pong pwede natin gamitin? Kung wala tayong tractor. So, we use the native flow. Tama po. Next, which farm equipment is needed if your work is tilling a large area using this plow and this harrow? So which farm equipment is needed if your work is tilling a large area using this plow and this harrow? Farm equipment po yung ating kinag-uusapan dito. So ano po ba yung mga farm equipment natin dyan? So the answer is four-wheel tractor because we need to use we are working in a large area, so we need to use a four-wheel tractor. Next is which tool is used for watering seedlings and young plants? A, sprinkler. B, water pail. C, water pump. Or D, sprayer. Ano pong ginagamit natin dyan? Which tool is used for watering seedling and young plants? A, sprinkler. B, water pail. C, water pump. Or D, sprayer. So we use the sprinkler. So which tool is used for cutting bigger size posts? Kung ginagamit? A, pruning shear. B, axe. C, knife. Or D, bolo. Kung ginagamit natin pag cutting bigger size posts, we use the axe. Of course, we can't use the pruning shear and knife and bolo. Next, sumama po pala to. So, ito po yung mga hand tools. These hand tools are usually yung mga hand tools po natin or mga farm tools. These tools are usually light and used without the help of animals or machine. This can be manipulated by hands with no assistance from any energy. These tools can be used for only for small agricultural works, farms, areas like at home, school, or community. So ito po yung mga sa mga picture ng mga tools po natin and also yung mga purpose and function. So we have the bolo, used for cutting tall grasses and weeds and chopping branches of trees. Pigmatok, used for digging canals, breaking hard topsoil, and for digging up some stones and tree stumps. Grab hoe is used for breaking hard topsoil and pulverizing soil. Spade is used for removing trash or soil, digging canals or ditches and soil, mixing soil mixture. Diba? So we also have shovel is used in removing soil, moving soil from one place to another and for mixing soil media. So usually ito yung na pagpapalit, no, yung tawag ng spade and shovel. So yung spade patilos, yung shovel po ay hindi, no. Then rake is used for cleaning the ground and leveling up the topsoil. Spading fork is used for loosening the soil, digging out root crops, and turning over the material in a compost heap. Light hoe is used for loosening and leveling soil and digging out furrows for planting. And trowel is for loosening the soil around the growing plants and putting small amount of manure fertilizer in the soil. We also have hand cultivator. It's used for cultivating the garden plant by loosening the soil and removing weeds around the plants. Hand fork is used for interior cultivation. Pruning shear is used for cutting branches of planting materials and unnecessary branch of plants. Axe is for cutting bigger posts. Knife is for cutting planting materials and for performing other operations in horticulture. Then we also have sprinklers for watering seedlings and young plants, water pails for hauling water, manure, and fertilizer, sprayer for spraying insecticide for fertilizer, fungicide, and herbicides. Wheelbarrow is used for hauling trash, manures, fertilizer, planting materials, and other equipment. Sickle is a handheld agricultural tool with a various curved blade typically used for cutting weeds. Then the farm implements. Farm implements is are accessories that are being pulled for working animals or mounted to machines. For example, we have the hand tractor, which are usually used in the preparation of land. These are usually made of a special kind of metal. So we have the plow, this plow. So yung mga plows a working animal or tractor. A plow is specifically used for tilling large areas, making furrows into row cultivation. Plows pulled by working animals and animals are made of either a combination of metal or wood or pure metal. They are used to till areas with shallower depth than that of a disc plow, which are pulled by tractor. Disc plows which are pulled by tractor. Yeah. So we have the native wooden harrow, this harrow, then the rotavator. So harrow is made of wood with a metal teeth pulled by a carabao, which is um, used for tilling and pulverizing the soil. Rotavator is the implement mounted tractor used for tilling and pulverizing the soil. So pare-pareho silang used for tilling and pulverizing the soil. But the rotavator can only mounted to the tractor. So we also have the farm equipment or farm machineries. They are used in land preparation and supporting farm inputs and products. This equipment needs highly skilled operator to use. So we have the hand tractor, a four-wheel tractor. We also have water pumps. Other example of farm equipment, we have the thresher, corn gasser, rice harvester, gas cutter, rice seeder, miller. Yan po yung difference ng tatlo. So hand tools, yun yan po, usually light and are used without the help of animals or machines. Farm implemented, these are accessories which are being pulled by working animals or mounted to machineries, which are usually used in the preparation of land. And common farm equipment, these are machineries used in crop production. Okay, so the first step in the preparation of the seedbed is, ano po yung tawag natin sa first step in preparation of seedbed? A. Harrowing, B. Subsoiling, C. Plowing, or D. Leveling. Tignan natin ang sagot ng ating mga students. C, B, D, B. Iba yung sagot natin So the correct answer, yung first step na ginagawa natin in the preparation of seedbed is we do the plowing. So any material applied to the soil or plant to supply the essential element is called, tawag natin doon, A. Lime, B. Green manure, C. Fertilizer, D. Garden soil. Any material applied to the soil or plants to supply the essential elements is called, ano pong tawag natin doon? Ito, madali lang to. Have the fertilizer. Next, which is not which is not a true statement of fertilizer application. Which is not true. There is a right amount of fertilizer to apply to the soil for plants to get maximum productivity. Is the right amount of fertilizer to apply the soil for the plants to get maximum? B. The right amount of fertilizer will depend on the area and number of plants. Letter C. The profit from fertilizer applied is high during the rainy season than in dry season. Letter D. The right amount of fertilizer for high yield will vary with the variety of crop. So which is not a true statement of the question. So basahin natin isa-isa. No? There is the right amount of fertilizer to apply to the soil for plants to get maximum profit. This is true or the letter A po is true. Next, the right amount of fertilizer will depend on the area and number of plants, which is also true when it comes to fertilizer application. Next, the profit the profit from fertilizer applied is high during the rainy season than the dry season, which is not true. Ano po? So, hindi po natin sagot natin. No? Ayan. The right amount of fertilizer for high yield will vary with the variety of crop, which is also true. So, pag nabasa nyo na yung statement na mali, yun agad yung ano natin, then we can now proceed to the ano to the next question. Huwag natin masyadong tambayan yung mga questions na lalo na kung nakuha na natin agad yung sagot. Next, a vegetative planting material for taro, gabi, is what do you call the vegetative planting material for taro or gabi tawagan. So, we have the A tubers, B corms, C rhizomes, or D bulb. So which is the vegetative planting material for taro? Iba-iba din yung sagot natin dito ah. Tubers, B corms, C rhizome, D bulb. So the correct answer is forms. Ano po? Ano ba yung tinatawag natin na tubers? Tubers are underground stem that store nutrients and can be used for propagation in some plants. Sample po dito yung potato. Forms naman, ito yung swollen underground stems that store protein and can be used for vegetative propagation in plants like taro. They have distinct eyes or bud that can sprout into new plants. Then, pag tinawag natin rhizomes, horizontally underground stem that grow new shoots along their length. Then, pag buds naman, modified underground buds with fleshy scales that store nutrients. Bulbs are used for propagation in plants like onion and garlic. For example po ng ating tubers, we have potato, sweet potato. Corms, we have the taro. Rhizomes, we have the ginger. Also bamboo. Diba? Then bulbs, we have the onion, garlic. So next, an asexual reproduction method in which the shoot is removed from the desired plant and placed on another plant is called, we can call this a sexual reproduction method in which the shoot is removed from the desired plant and placed on another plant is called A, cutting, B, grafting, C, budding, or D, pairing. Ano natin ang sagot niyan? Is your answer? A sexual reproduction method in which shoot is removed from the desired plant and then placed on another plant is called, we call this as Grafting po ang ating sagot dito. Next, any vegetative plant part when detached from the parent is capable of reproducing a plant exactly like the parent. How do you call this asexual method? A. Cutting, B. Division, C. Layering, D. Budding. Any vegetative plant part that when detached from the parent is capable of reproducing a plant exact like parent, like the parent. This asexual method is called, we call this B, division. Next, natural vegetative plant propagule includes the following, except a natural vegetative plant propagule includes the following, except A. Runners, B. Bulbs, C. Rhizomes, D. Seeds. Ano pong sagot natin dito? Natural vegetative propagule include the following except. Okay, the correct answer is letter D. Seeds. Seed is not natural vegetative propagule. Vegetative propagules are structures or parts of the plant that are capable of growing into a new plant without the need for fertilization or sexual reproduction. Example nga po nito, yung vegetative propagules include the bulbs, corms, rhizomes, and tubers. Ano po? So, as next question, a sexual method, a sexual method of propagation which refers to the art of joining parts of plants together in such a manner that they will unite and continue to grow as one plant. Correct answer po is, again, grafting pa rin yung tawag natin doon. Next, this is germination tests, which are placed on wet cloth and rolled around a stick is called A. Ragdoll method, B. Seed box method, C. Petri dish, D. Tissue culture. A germination test, which are placed on a wet cloth and rolled around a stick is called. So the answer, the correct answer is Ragdoll method. So ito po yung isa sa pinakamadali na germination test na ginagawa. So sa isang wet cloth, you will put 100 seeds. So may proper distancing po yan na gagawin. And i-roll. So isa po yan sa madaling check nga yung ating germination. So sa 100, kung ilan yung tumubo, for example, 80 yung tumubo, we have 80% germination dun sa seeds sample tayo. Meron tayong 80%. So sa pag 80%, 80 yung tutubo dun sa ating. Then we use seed box method. Then sa seed box method, pupunla natin yan. Same with the uh, may proper uh, spacing then. Then the Petri dish and the tissue culture. Usually we use Petri dish in the tissue culture. So we culture the part of the ating uh, plant for asexual reproduction. Next, the vegetative material for ginger is called, ito kanina, vegetative material for ginger is called A. Tubers, B. Rhizome, C. Bulbs, D. Seed, which is the vegetative material for ginger. The answer is letter B, rhizomes. Next, physical process of the jejus, removal of plant parts like growing points or meristem, foliage, and branches to attain some specific purpose is called, ang tawag po natin dito, physical process of the jejus removal of plant parts like growing points. A. Pruning, B. Hardening, C. Blocking, or D. Bolting. The correct answer is letter A. Pruning po ang ating sagot dito. No? So, pruning. So, ano po ba yung pag tinawag nating hardening? So, ito po ay yung pag-introduce natin ng ating halaman na galing sa greenhouse or yung mga young plants sa direct sunlight na po. So, unti-unti po natin silang i-expose sa sa sunlight na yung direct sunlight. So, this is called yung hardening natin. Then, yung tinatawag nating blocking, ito po yung physical restriction or we use physical barriers. Yung purpose natin for the blocking is to control yung plant size, manage the root growth, and or pwede natin yung influence yung flowering behavior. For example dito, yung mga fruit trees na nilalagay natin sa mga container, well, para hindi siya masyadong lumaki. Next is we also have po specific to ay sa mga leafy vegetables, both to the rapid growth of the flowering stalk in response to the stress factors. The sobrang init and the high temperature and also uh, drought. Ito yung mga pwedeng mga stress factors na maapektuhan yung halaman din para siya ay mag-bolt. Then, ito ay magpo-produce ng seeds, no? So, usually, yung mga leafy vegetables nga yung ganito, kaya sila nag-flower. Then, next, a sexual method plant, propagation by which the stem is forced to root while still attached to the parent plant materials called, ang tawag natin doon, sexual method of plant propagation by which the stem is forced to root while still attached to the parent plants called A. Budding, C. B. Layering, C. Grafting, or D. Cutting. Yan natin mga sagot ng ating mga students. So the correct answer po ay layering. Next, the place where starting plant materials are grown, cared for, and maintained until the plants are ready to transfer to the permanent site for commercial growing is called, anong tawag po natin doon? A place where starting plant material are grown, cared for, and maintained until the plants are ready for transfer to the permanent site for commercial growing. A. Nursery, B. Seed box, C. Growing house, or D. Greenhouse. Ano yung tawag talaga natin doon? The correct answer is nursery. Next, plant growth begins with, what do you call this? A. Senescence, B. Primary growth, C. Secondary growth, or D. Germination. Anong sagot ng ating mga students dito? Okay. Next, the correct answer is germination. So, senescence, yung tawag natin yung senescence, is refers to the aging and deterioration of plant organ and tissue, which is opposite of growth. It happens later in the plant's life cycle. So primary growth is the growth of roots and shoots in length, typically grow through cell division, the meristems, growing tips of these organs. It occurs throughout the plant's life, but it's most prominent in the early stage of of development. Secondary growth. This refers to the thickening of stems and roots in diameter through the activity of specialized tissue like vascular cambium. Then germination is the process where a seed starts to sprout and grow into a seedling. It's the very first stage of plant growth, marking the transition from a dormant seed to an actively growing organism. Germination is the starting point for plant growth, imitating the development of roots and shoots from seeds. Next, a vegetative method of propagating new plant by producing adventitious roots before the new plant is cut from the parent. The portion of attached shoot is partially buried underground where roots develop is called ang sagot natin dito. Ano mga sagot natin? We called layering. Next, vegetative material for sugarcane, sweet potato, and cassava is called, ano po yung tawag dito, vegetative material ng sugarcane, sweet potato, and cassava. The correct answer is stem cutting po. So ito pong mga to ay maidi nating mai-propagate through stem cutting. Next, which of the following is characteristic of good soil? A should be porous to provide good air circulation and root development. B rich in plant nutrients. C erosion-free. D has good holding capacity. And E all of the above. So the correct answer for this, which of the following is a characteristic of good soil? So all of the above, lahat po yan ay kailangan ng ating characteristic ng good soil, no? Next, first step in plant preparation, tawag mulching, B fertilization, C tilling, or D clearing. Ito po yung first step. First step is, syempre, kailangan po nating mag-clear ng ating area. Clearing po yung ating first step na po. So in land preparation, it's an important aspect of agriculture and it involves a series of steps to ensure the optimal growth for plant. We have the common steps. Yung first po natin na ginagawa is we have the clearing. Clearing po is the first step of the land preparation wherein we clear the land of any unwanted vegetation. We also remove the rocks, debris. This can be done manually, pwede natin nang gawin manually or with the use of machinery. Next na ginagawa natin is we do the tilling. Once the land is cleared, it needs to be tilled to break up the soil and prepare it for planting. Tilling can be done with the plow or a tiller and soil and promote. Next, till the land, we need to level it. After tilling, we level it. The land may need to be leveled to ensure condition. This can be done with a rake or a leveling blade attached to the tractor. We put fertilizer, we do fertilization. Fertilizer can be applied to the soil at the stage to provide nutrients for the crop. The type and amount of fertilizer needed will depend on the soil type, crop type, and other factors. So better nag-soil test na din tayo before we put the irrigation. The necessary irrigation system can be installed or prepared to ensure adequate water supply to crops. Next is the mulching. Actually, ito na po yung last no natin. A mulch can be applied to the soil surface to help conserve moisture, suppress weeds, and regulate soil temperature. Depending on the crop condition. But yung first when it comes to preparation is we do clearing. Next, which of the following should be taken action farmland? Which of the should be taken into account during a farmland? So, A. Security. B. Access and proximity to the market. C. Topography and water sources. The answer is which of the following, no? So, should be taken into account before preparing a farmland. Usually talaga pag may all of the above. No? So, we need security. We need to take into account also the access and and the water resources. For this is all of the next the objective of applying fertilizer to fish ponds. So fisheries naman, no? So what is the objective of applying fertilizer to the fish pond? A. Promote fish growth. B. Enhance production. C. Neutralize acidity. D. Enhance the color of the water. Why do we apply fertilizer? Because we want to enhance the production. Next, what is the Republic Act 8550? Actually, may mga Republic Act din po na tinatanong. Republic Act 8550 or also known as Fisheries Code. Letter C po. Fisheries Code of 1998. Yung letter A, the Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization Act or yung ACMA, ito po ay Republic Act 8435. Then yung Organic Agriculture Act po ay ito po ay 10,068. Yung ating Organic Agriculture Act. Solid Waste Management. Ano yung Solid Waste Management? So the Republic Act 8550 is the Fisheries Code of 1998. Then, ano po ba yung agency na in charge for the aquaculture and fisheries? We have the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. Alam po naman ng lahat, we have the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. Sila po yung in charge when it comes to the fisheries. Ano po, marine and marine culture and the aquaculture. Siya naka-under po yan ng Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. The BIPAR is under the also under the Department of Agriculture, same with the ATI. But the ATI, kami po ay sa po. Next, the raising of two or more species of fish or crustaceans in a pond. Ano pong tawag natin dito? The raising of two or more species of fish or crustaceans in a pond. A. Monoculture. B. Polyculture. C. Monosex culture. Or D. Integrated farming system. Monoculture, polyculture, monosex culture, or integrated farming system. The correct answer is polyculture. So when we call polyculture, it sige, simulan muna natin sa monoculture. Monoculture. So single lang po yung ating ginogrow, no? Same with the monocropping, yung nakapokus ang crop. When it comes monoculture, isa lang po yung ating raise. And polyculture, ito po ay raising of two or more species. Then monosex culture is a type of aquaculture practice where only one sex of fish species is produced. This is usually done by using a technique called sex reversal, where the genetic sex of fish is manipulated to produce either all male or all female populations. This technique is commonly used in the production of tilapia, a popular freshwater species that is widely cultured in many parts of the world. The advantages of mono-sex culture include faster growth and improved feed conversion efficiency, since the fish are not using energy to produce gametes, egg, or sperm. This results in higher production rates and better profitability for fish farmers. Monosex culture can also reduce the risk of unwanted reproduction since the fish are all of the same size and there is no need for separate ponds or cages to prevent mating. So integrated farming system naman, so iba-iba yung meron dun sa farm. So we have different, hindi lang hindi lang aquaculture or fish farming, meron din tayong livestock, meron din tayong uh, vegetables. So that's the integrated farming system. Next, the first species of tilapia introduced in the Philippines. Ano pong tawag natin doon? A. Niloticus, tilapia nilotica. B. Ospirus or tilapia spirulus. D. C. Aureus or D. Tilapia mosambica. The correct answer po ay T. D. Tilapia mosambica. Aquaculture is a synonyms to A. Pen culture, B. Cage culture, C. Fish culture, or D. Tank culture. The correct answer for aquaculture is, we call this as fish culture. Fish culture method requires the use of enclosure in shallow protected areas of inland water, generally in lakes or lagoon. So A. Cage method, B. Pond method, C. Fish pen method, or D. Tank method. This fish culture method requires the use of enclosure in a shallow protected area of inland water, generally in lakes or lagoon. Tawag natin dito. We called it as fish pen method. Next, the process of producing fish fry or fingerling in a body of water like fish pond or lake We call this as A. Planting, B. Stocking, C. Rationing, or D. Fishing. So we call the process of releasing fish fry or fingerling in a body of water like a fish pond or lake. We call it as s- stocking. Ang tawag po natin doon. Next, this is the number of fish seed materials stocked in a given area of water. A. This is the number of fish seed materials stocked in a given area of water. A. Stocking biomass. B. Stocking rate. C. Stocking replacement. Or D. Stocking replacement. Then this is the number of fish seed materials stocked in a given area of stocking rate. Next, natural body of water. We call this as A. Capture fisheries. B. Fish culture. C. Stock enhancement. Or D. Mariculture. The release of fish in natural body of water. A. Capture fisheries. B. Fish culture. C. Stock enhancement. Or D. Mariculture. We call this as stock enhancement po. The release of fish in natural body of water. We, we enhance the number of stock sa natural body of water. So we call this as stock enhancement. Next, a stationary ware or trap device to intercept and capture fish consisting of rows of bamboo sticks, plastic nets, and other materials fenced with split bamboo mating or wire matting. Call this as A. Fish cage, B. Fish coral or baklad, C. Fish net, or D. Fish pen. We call this as B. Fish coral or baklad. This is a trap device to intercept and capture fish. Next, people directly or personally and physically engage in taking or culturing and processing fishery and or fishery resources. What do you call this? People directly or personally and physically engage in taking or culturing and processing fishery and or fishery resources. A. Fisher folk. B. Fisherman. C. Fish culturist. Or D. Aquaculturist. Ano ang sagot nila? The correct answer A. Fisher po ang tawag natin. Kamadali-dali itong next. Biggest lake in the Philippines. A. Taal Lake. B. Lake Lanao. C. Lake Buhi. Or D. Laguna Bay or Laguna Lake. Which is the biggest lake in the Philippines? Yes po, tama tayo. The biggest lake is the Laguna Lake or Laguna de Bay. Next question. A fish that holds fertilized egg in its buccal cavity or rearing. What do you call this? A fish that holds fertilized egg in its buccal cavity or rearing. A. Nest builders. B. Substrate spawn. C. Pouch breeders. D. Mouth brooders. Correct answer is mouth brooders. Next, this is the art and science of catching fish for livelihood. This is the art and science of catching fish for livelihood. A, we have the aquaculture. B, fish culture. C, fish capture. Or C, ranching. The art and science of catching fish for livelihood. A, aquaculture. B, fish culture. C, fish capture. Or D, C, ranching. Next, check natin. The correct answer is we have the fish capture. Next question. The process of preserving foods in hermetically sealed containers like tin cans, jars, or bottles through the application of what do you call this? The process of preserving foods in hermetically sealed containers like tin cans and jars or bottles. A. Drying. B. Boiling. C. Canning. Or D. Salting. Yes, the correct answer is letter C. Canning. Next, the method of processing fish by lowering its water content through exposure to the sun. What do we call this? A. Drying. B. Boiling. C. Drying. Or D. Fermentation. The method of processing fish by lowering its water content through exposure to the sun. Ano natin ang mga sagot natin. Okay. Yes, tama yung ating mga students, no? So we have the drying. Next, we have the mixture of salt water and fresh water. What do we call this? A. Marine water. B. Saline water. C. Fresh water. Or D. Brackish water. It's a mixture of salt water and fresh water. What do we call this? The mixture of fresh water and salt water. Iba-iba ang sagot natin dito. Okay, the correct answer is letter D. Brackish water po ang tawag natin sa mixture of salt water and the fresh water. Next. Next question is the juvenile fish stock in ponds or other units of culture. A. Fingerlings. B. Fry. C. Breeders. Or D. None of the above. Juvenile fish stock in ponds or other units of culture. A. Fingerlings. B. Fry. C. Breeders. Or D. None of the above. Okay, the correct answer for this, the juvenile stock in ponds or other units of culture is letter A, fingerlings. So the main stages of fish developments are, nag-start po tayo ng egg stage. Next is the larval stage, third is the juvenile stage, and then the adult stage. So yung egg stage natin, the fish eggs are typically laid by female fish and fertilized by male fish. The eggs may be deposited in a variety of locations depending on the species, including in the nest or rocks or vegetation, or in open water. The egg stage may last anywhere from a few days to several months depending on the species and environmental condition. So the larval stage, once the egg hatch, the fish enter the larval stage, during which they are known as larvae or we call them as fry. Larvae are typically very small and have distinct physical features that distinguish them from adult fish, such as large eyes and a yolk sac that provide them with nutrients. Larvae may feed on small plankton or other microscopic organisms and are typically very vulnerable to predation and environmental stress. Next is the juvenile stage. As the larvae grow and develop, they eventually reach a juvenile stage during which they are known as juvenile or fingerlings. Juveniles have absorbed their yolk sac and are able to actively feed on external food sources. They may still exhibit distinct physical and behavioral characteristics compared to adult fish and require specific habitat and food requirements for optimal growth and survival. So next, or on the last, on the main stages of the fish development is the adult stage. Once the fish reach sexual maturity, they enter the adult stage and during which they are able to reproduce and continue the life cycle. Adult fish may exhibit different behaviors and psychological adaptation compared to juvenile and may occupy different habitats or geographic location depending on the species. So yun po yung ating ano natin na ating fish development, stages of fish development. We have the egg stage, larval stage, juvenile, and the adult stage. So hindi porket meron din na none of the above, yung none of the above na yung sagot. So kailangan talaga natin basahin maigi yung question and then uh, we choose the correct answer. Always choose the correct answer, syempre. So, usually din, kung hindi kayo talaga sigurado kung ano yung una nyong pumasok sa isip nyo, usually din may chance hindi nyo talaga these are small ponds in milkfish but these are small ponds in milkfish for rearing to fingerlings. A nursery ponds, B section ponds, or C fishing what do we call these are small ponds and milkfish ponds used exclusively for rearing fry to fingerlings. The correct answer is nursery pond. We call nursery pond is a shallow pond used to raise fish from eggs or fry to fingerlings. The pond is typically stocked with a high density of fish and may be equipped with special devices to maintain water quality and temperature. Then, after the nursery pond, we have the transition pond. Transition pond is used to acclimate fingerlings to a new environment before they transfer to grow out ponds. The pond is typically larger and deeper than a nursery pond and may be stocked with a lower density of fish. Next is the catching pond. Yung catching pond, tinatawag natin catching pond is used to harvest fish from grow-out ponds. The pond is typically equipped with special equipment such as nets or to catch fish and may be drained or partially drained to make it easier to collect the fish. Catching ponds are an important component of fish farming operation as they allow farmers to efficiently harvest fish for market. Then the fish pond, we call fish pond, or the feed pond. Feed pond is a small pond used to culture live food organisms such as zooplankton and phytoplankton, which are then used to feed fish in other ponds. The pond is typically equipped with a device to promote the growth of these microorganisms, such as aeration or fertilizer. Feed pond help to ensure the consistent and high quality food supply for fish in other plants. So these four types of pond are often used in combination to create a aquaculture system that allows fish to grow from eggs to fry to the market size. So yung yan po ay kailangan natin when we do aqu- uh, when we have an aquaculture system. Next, collective term for microscopic organism suspended in water. What do you call the collective term for microscopic organisms suspended in water? A. Zooplankton. B. Plankton. C. Phytoplankton. Or D. Periphyton. The correct answer is plankton. So, the zooplankton, ano ba yung tinatawag nating zooplankton? Zooplankton are small animals that thrive with the current aquatic environment. They are an important food source for, for many fish species and are often cultured in feed pond for use in aquaculture.